We are going to do one test recording and then we're going to get the show on the road because there's no way I'm sticking around to do this for more than half an hour. Welcome back, team, to not another stream, but some more game dev content. So what I wanted to do with this YouTube channel was turn it into a place where we can make some game dev content that's going to stick around for a long time. So maybe we'll get into more like concrete tutorials for specific tools and technologies. Maybe we'll keep it more, I don't exactly mean theoretical, but like principle based, like the principles of game design or of how you should go about learning a new technology, like the best ways to learn a complicated like new software. Anyway, today we're going to do a game log. I've been in my head calling it a GLOG. I will probably refer to it as a GLOG out loud as well, so if that's weird, then too bad. I've been writing down notes over the past 3 weeks in my handy dandy journal. I love this thing. I don't know why it took me so long to get one, because I am still using notebooks, but they're just it's just a bunch of lists that I never check back and things just get lost all the time. So, what I've been doing is writing these important notes down in my journal, and we're going to, I think at the end of each week, do our own little like retrospective, and that is a Scrum term, an agile development process term, and the retrospective for any software development team at the end of each sprint, the whole team meets at the end to show what we got done, what we did well, what we did poorly or what didn't get done, and then how we can improve for the next sprint, how the team can, all on their own merit and independence, how we can improve our process for the very next sprint. So we're going to be talking about that today. So somewhere in here, if I can find my page, I wrote down, here we go, our notes. Please move. I don't want you here. Okay, we're good. You guys actually gave me this very first one. Read from the documentation. I got multiple compliments because we were doing this on stream. We would just open the Unreal Docs and we would read straight from the documentation whatever we were trying to learn. I know there's tons of content here on YouTube. I know there's tons of content online. There's blogs, there's written articles, there's video content. Check the documentation first, and if not first, at least along with everything else, because sometimes your answer is right there. It's very true that many tools and companies and different services have crap documentation, but at least check, at least try, at least go straight to the source whenever you can. You know, take the straight line, don't take the winding path through many content creators. Sometimes it's out of date information, sometimes it's incorrect information, so check the documentation. Next, set up tools. Test them first. What the heck does this refer to? I think what I'm referring to here is when we first installed Unreal Engine, I didn't even have the latest engine version. I think a new engine version came out like as soon as I installed 4.24, 4.25 came out, and I didn't upgrade right away, which was a pain in the ass later, so freaking upgrade your tools whenever you have the opportunity to do so. And specifically, I think I wrote this thinking about the fact that instead of using Visual Studio as our default C++ editor, I wanted to try Rider. Rider by JetBrains. Rider was suggested to me by a few different friends. The software is still in beta right now, so I get access to it for free. And they're using a tool or technology called ReSharper. I learned all this, and then we didn't end up using C++. We're still doing blueprints, and so now I forgot all the information. ReSharper is really cool. It gives you a very efficient workflow for specifically developing an Unreal Engine. So not just a C++ editor, but an Unreal Engine C++ editor. So definitely check out Rider if you're interested. After the docs, after setting up our tools, learn your tool basics and learn your keyboard shortcuts. I think this one is huge. I know for the first several years when I was like, a child growing up and coding, I never used keyboard shortcuts. Like I never focused on that. I never took the time to specifically learn my tools. Like I never thought about it in that way. And so it was always like, oh, I want to do this. How do I do that? I still think that's the best way, generally speaking, to go about being a software developer and like go about trying to create anything. It's like you have this goal and then just learn what you need to learn in order to accomplish that specific objective. That being said, if you understand your tools, especially as the tools get more complex and you're actually aware of their capabilities and like the features and the systems involved in a game engine, then you will know what your options are. And that might even like inspire you to have better or different ideas. So definitely take the time to learn the basics. Yeah, do that, because I think it's smart. Keyboard shortcuts I try to keep as not custom as possible. I don't know why. I have this like personal fear that someday I'm not going to have access to my machine and I'm going to have to use like somebody else's machine or some like random public machine, and I'm not going to have any of like my personalized settings. So if I've changed all the keyboard shortcuts to be this randomness and I don't have access to my machine, it's going to totally kill my workflow. And I just have this thought in my head. I don't know if other people have this fear, but this is a fear of mine. So I would suggest know your keyboard shortcuts. Yes, change them if it's more efficient for you. But if you cannot change them, then even better. So one of the next things we did is review a sample project. What's really funny is thinking back on this, I don't know if you guys remember the first week, but we decided what type of game we wanted to make, and then we just opened up a sample project. And then that sample project, as we were like playing around in it and just learning for the first time how the engine worked, we just deleted all the original assets, and then that project today is now our game. So I don't know why this is funny to me, but I think it's an adorable memory, so yay us. I would definitely recommend looking at somebody else's work before you just jump into something, because it goes back to having an objective. If you don't know what you're trying to build, or what the files should look like, or what your level editor can do, or what it does look like when it's actually full of objects, you kind of don't even know where you're heading. I mean, you have this like big idea of, oh, I'm gonna make a game, but try to set more specific goals, and a sample project is a great way to get started. Stay focused on vision, long-term goal. Oh yes, so here's another really good one. Know what your goal is. And what I mean by that is a lot of people get dragged down into the details. My goal is to publish a game, not learn how to do exceptionally high quality work at every level in every field of game development. So I'm going to use free assets from the Unreal Asset Store. I'm going to use free stuff from other websites online. I'm going to ask my teammates for help. And if you guys have time to make an asset for me or teach me something or like coach me through making something, that's great. And even if it turns out to not be exactly what I wanted, my goal right now is not to get every single asset exactly how I want it, or to learn everything on my own by myself for some, I don't know, like reason of independence, or to prove to myself I can. Like, I already know I can. I know I can learn. My goal is to publish a game. And so what I wrote down here is like, stay focused on the vision and long-term goal. I will often get dragged down into my own perfectionism. And what is that freaking awesome quote? Like, perfectionism is the enemy of progress. Well, guess what? Definitely focus on progress. Focus on growing yourself and improving yourself and progressing in your work and as a human being. Like, actually get something done. Have something to show for yourself. And in order to do that, you have to know what your goal is. So, yeah, stay focused on the goal. So that leads directly into the next note I wrote down, which is ask for help. Use your friends. Use your teammates. Find a mentor. Use your mentor. It is so much easier for me, and again, I don't know if everyone feels this way or if this is just me, but it's so much easier rather than reading documentation and looking up YouTube videos or finding an online course with some pre-recorded content from a year ago. So again, you have, in technology, you have the problem of it being outdated like a month after it comes out sometimes. Find a mentor, someone who right now in real time today, who's alive, can teach you how to use this tool or how to go about achieving whatever your goal is. And you guys have been so supportive and awesome towards me in that way, and I hope I've been able to give back at least a little bit back to some other people in our community, and hopefully we can all continue to teach each other, because that's one of the things, that's like what our community should do. Like, that's what I want for all of us. And ask for help. That's the first step. If you don't ask for help, people don't know. People don't know you need it or want it, So it's all on you. The first step is on you. Ask for bloody help. The next one, we have set milestones to meet each week. Okay, this is a big one for me, and I know this is specific to myself. I don't know how specific it is for other people. You hear people give advice all the time on like, set a goal. I'm very goal-oriented personally. I will talk about setting goals a lot. This particular term I wrote down was milestone, so I don't know if I was thinking about something slightly different, but the point is when I have a specific, like I can clearly see it in my mind, objective, and another way I could phrase that is the Scrum way or the Agile way. One of the principles of Scrum is you're only finished with a story. Like a story is basically a task, and it's only well written and ready to be worked on if you can define done. That's one attribute of writing good stories. So you need to know what done means and what it looks like. It's like, is it done when your game's inventory system is fully operational? Is it done when your character can now jump over things because you've programmed the jumping functionality? Is it done when you've added 3 new monsters or obstacles to the environment? It's like, I don't even think those are particularly great definitions, but you need to have a definition for done. Otherwise, you don't know like what you're working towards. You don't truly have a goal. So what I wrote down is have milestones to meet each week. So I suppose for a week that would be like a set of stories you want to accomplish, and then each story needs to have a defined definition of done. So make sure you know what you're aiming at. So this was from our first 2 weeks, and what I wrote down for myself is focus on understanding over progress. We just talked about how you should focus on progress over perfectionism. I do agree with this other statement though, that understanding over progress, because what I meant when I wrote this down is understand your tools, understand your options. If you take the time in 2 weeks to learn an entire game engine, okay, it's not realistic, but let's just go with it. If you take the time to understand that tool, your ability to make progress is going to be like so greatly enhanced in every successive week. If you're going to be doing a task over and over throughout your life, like understand the principle or the theory behind it, because that will help you execute on it much better. The more often it comes up, the more often you have to do it. So I definitely think you should take the time to understand your tools, understand the technology you're working with, over progress. Even though that's difficult for me to hear myself say out loud, I still think it's true. Okay, this is another one that any programmer out there knows exactly what I mean when I say this. Do not allow yourself to become frustrated. When you are frustrated, I don't even mean emotionally upset. I don't mean angry. I don't mean sad. I mean frustrated. When you are frustrated, you cannot focus. Like, maybe you guys have a different definition for the English word I am saying. Maybe we need to use a different word other than frustrated. But I have always used frustrated, and I use that word to represent the tense, anxious, upset feeling that I get as, well, throughout life, but mostly as a programmer, when things are not going right and I'm unable to solve the problem, which makes me feel really stupid about myself because it's a really simple problem and it should have been solved 2 hours ago, but no, I'm still stuck on this and now I'm frustrated. Literally what I do is I take a deep breath. I really enjoy breathing exercises, but that just sounds a little not how I want to sound, so I'm not going to say that. But I'm really interested in martial arts. And breathing and being able to control your breath, that's like the first thing you learn in many martial arts. So take a deep breath, let it relax your body, your mind, and just take a moment. It doesn't need to be more than 5 seconds. You just need a moment to get control of yourself, to get control of your mentalness. But yeah, don't allow yourself to become frustrated, because maybe you guys are like way better than me. Totally possible. I have never been able to solve a computer problem while being frustrated. And then next one is prioritize. Freaking prioritize your work. This is true. Put first things first. You want to make a game, you have 2 bajillion things that have to get done, okay? Not 1,000, not even million. You got 2 bajillion. There is a high likelihood you are not going to have the time or the opportunity to fit all 2 bajillion things into your game. You might have to settle for 2,000. I know that makes you sad. It makes me sad too. I'm very sorry for both of us, but it's the fact of life. So, put first things first. Make sure the player controller exists and works. So your player can like operate the game. That's important. Make sure the camera controller is also good. That's important too. Just make sure the camera works. There are some basic things that you want to have done first so you can begin to play test your game. This is a good life lesson as well, by the way, but I'm not trying to be all preachy here. I definitely don't want to come off as bossy or preachy ever. These are my notes to myself, and I'm sharing them with you. And you can take them or leave them, and I'm not offended either way. Okay, last one, which is very similar to what we've already talked about. I wrote, let others help you. This really comes back to just asking for help. You will learn faster, and you will achieve more. So you have to decide what is most important to you. Do you want to be like the independent indie game developer who does everything solo, who makes like the next Minecraft or like Stardew Valley completely solo? Maybe that is what you want to do. Maybe that's the challenge you want to take on. Totally cool. Go for it. Me personally, I would like to be a full-time indie game developer, so my top priority right now is to publish games until I have enough of an income from them I can be a professional indie game developer and do this full time. So I'm gonna keep asking for help. And once again, thank you to all my awesome teammates who have been teaching me so much. Okay, happy days because I did find my second page of notes, but this second page of notes I wrote down after the 3rd week because I didn't write anything after this 4th week. I'm freaking recording the video now after this 4th week, which was awesome, by the way, because we met our goals. So basically what I'm saying is we're going to end the video now, and then we're going to go over the second page of notes in the next GLOG because this video has already gone on a really long time. I had no idea that I talked this much, this long. Yes, I did, because I have a best friend, and we get on the phone, and we cannot get off the phone under 2 hours. But I don't talk to anyone else like that except you guys and her. I promise I'm a quiet person. I don't know how it happens. Okay, so I'll see you in the next one. Peace out now, and I have no idea how to end this video. I don't have an idea, but it was great talking to you. Thanks for watching. Okay, so another one, and again, this is like from our first 2, I'm blocking the mic with my book. I don't know how this sounds to you guys, but I'm gonna try not to do that. Martial arts. So take a deep breath. Feel the breath. Are you kidding me? Oh, I found it! Okay, good. We are gonna do a whole book review on a Scrum book I just finished reading, or I'm just about to finish. I have like a chapter and a half left, I think. And it's gonna be freaking awesome, but I'm not gonna get into it today, because 1, I need to actually review this crap to make sure I'm telling it correctly, and 2, I haven't actually finished the book yet. This was really awkward to record, because normally there's like a chat room here, and I'm like talking to actual people, but right now I'm just me talking to a box. So now that I have actually reviewed Scrum and I know like the goals of a retrospective, we can break them down into what we got done, what we did well, what we did poorly, and what we're going to improve for next week. So yeah, maybe I'll take notes like that, and then we can go over each of those sections together. Anyway, I'll see you in the next time. I'll see you in the next one, team, and have a good one. Peace out, guys. Thanks for subscribing to our new YouTube channel.